Welcome back once again to the Army Painter Arena of Escalation. If you haven't been following along on the Army Painter's new blog, a regiment of experienced gamers and complete noobs within the company have embarked on a Warhammer 40k slow grow league. We have all chosen an army and documented our progress building, painting, and eventually we're going to be playing these things at the company holiday party. In our first video in the series, one of our videographers, Danny, learned how to paint up a Leagues of Votann tank with the help of Thomas from the studio, and in this edition, one of our challengers, Lasse, another videographer at the company, shows you how he's painting his Sisters of Battle Force, and helping in his campaign for Employee of the Year. Lasse took the initiative on narrating the majority of this video, so tune in and let him walk you through every step in his army painting process.
Hello everyone, and welcome to my humble hobby space here. Today I will be showing you how I paint up my Sisters of Battle for our Arena of Escalation that we're doing at the company. I have here a Celestial Sacrosanct that I prepared by priming her Wolf Grey, and a base that I have also prepared with some cork that you can get from local craft stores like this, because my bases are sort of a overgrown, abandoned city. So I'll be using this as asphalt and then painting up some greenery in the cracks. So let's just get right to it. So just to start with, we're going to give this one, the whole model, a big wash of dark blue tone. And that's just to define all the little lines in between all the armor. So I don't have to worry about that. It basically black lines the whole model for me. Then I'll just go over it with a dry brush and make sure I don't have any pooling, because I don't actually want this to pool anywhere else than the crevices. So we're gonna get started on the armor. I'm gonna start with Runic Cobalt. For this I'll get some stabilizer in here as well to thin it a bit. And I'm just gonna do a classical layering style. And I will apply Frost Blue on all the surfaces that are facing upwards, leaving some of the Runic Cobalt on the downward facing surfaces. I'm doing my very best not to put any paint into the cracks in the armor that I waited 10 years for the wash to dry in. Then lastly we will go for the matte white and give it a final highlight. And here I'm just doing the exact same thing again, but I'm making sure to also leave some of the Frost Blue that I just put down. And if I do mess up, I will take advantage of the slightly longer drying time on the Fanatic paints and go in and clean it up a bit. Yep, so that's basically the armor. I'll move on to the cloaks now. Many of the Sisters of Battle have cloaks, and you can see the inside of the cloak, so that's why I put it on this little drill, so I can actually access this area, because that would be very hard if I glued both feet to a base. And I'll have to be very careful not to hit all the work that I just put into the armor. And I'll also give like the front of the mask here the same red color. And this is one color that I think I will have to do 2 coats, because it is a very light color, so it will need a second coat to go over this gray-blue.
Lasse is doing a great job, especially when you consider he's chosen 2 of the most difficult colors to use in all of miniature painting for his army, white and red. The coverage of the Fanatic formula certainly helps when it comes to these traditionally tricky colors. You can see here, he's using a high contrast combination from the Warpaint's Fanatic Cool Red Flexible Triad to quickly build up some contrast and vibrancy.
And there we go, red highlighted. And let's move on to the bone colored cloth. Go on with bony spikes for the first highlight.
When applying layered highlights, as Lasse is doing here on the robes, it's beneficial to use thinned down layers of paint. The added transparency helps to smooth out the blends. Just lather, layer, and repeat to build up smooth gradients on your robes and tabards.
And for the black detailing, I'll just go over it with Grim Black Speed Paint, and that will be it.
Now this is a great tip from Lasse. Even if you're not using speed paints to speed paint your army, using colors like Grim Black, Dark Wood, or Occultist Cloak are very handy when it comes to prepping trim, details, or even metals. When using speed paints at this stage in your process, it's important to be as neat as you can. The paints are a bit runnier due to their one-coat properties, so take a little extra time now to potentially save you loads of time later on.
And I'll move on to all the metallic bits, which will get a coat of Enchanted Steel, dark bluish speed paint metallics. And we will move on to gold. Also speed paint, metallic glittering loot. It is simply just too easy and too fast not to do this. You don't even need to undercoat it.
Lasse is absolutely right. Speed paint metallics have made painting traditionally very difficult to paint golds super easy. Now, if you want to add even more depth to your gold, try applying a wash such as orange tone, purple tone, one of the flesh shades are great, or even red or green tones over top of your gold metallics. Lasse is just going to pick out more of the details with speed paint burnished red, a nice reddish brown color that's great for leathers. And now onto Topaz Skin, an interesting choice for his Purity Seal parchment. This is why army painting is so cool. Everyone has their own tricks and methods and ideas, and there's always something to learn. Now onto Jasper Skin for the first highlight. Followed by Urban Buff. For the seal here, we'll apply a base coat of Wyvern Fury, then block the eyes on our sister's helmet before applying one of the exciting new glow effects for a simple fluorescent lens. Now Lasse is going to show you how to do his super simple and insanely effective Molten Blade effect. Start with a base coat of Warpaint's Fanatic Warped Yellow. Blend in a bit of burning ore near the edges. Continue to blend to your liking before adding a refined layer of resplendent red to the furthest edges of the blade. Lasse is going to do a little light blending until he is content before grabbing some packing foam and some Fanatic Matte Black paint and gently stippling this to the edges of the blade, giving it a really striking and effective molting appearance. It replicates that the light at its source is the brightest. Now to push that effect even further, we'll apply a glaze of another glow effect, this time the orange radiation glow across key points on the blade. Of course, you can always go back and add more scratches and stipples to refine the look of the blade until you're happy.
So I guess this is just about it for how I wanted to paint it up for an army. Of course I could keep going, with the details and stuff, but as for battle ready sister, I think this is absolutely fine. So for the base, we're going with a very bright green, so we're going with the ancient green from the deep greens, and then moving up to some dry brushes with very bright greens, these two from the Vibrant Greens Flexible Triad. And I'm just going over all the places on the base where I put brown battleground or basing snow, and I can go up and dry brush a bit on the sides of the asphalt slabs here. That's fine. Then I will just give the asphalt here a quick dry brush of night sky. Because I don't want it to be very bright, but I just want it to sort of accentuate the edges just a bit. So for the base here, I'm just gonna cut up some tufts because I want like smaller pieces, and even the smallest tuft is a bit too big for me. And I'm also going to trim the tuft itself, because I want to get sort of a bit more like a moss type of tuft. And there we go. That's basically the base, and we just have to get the model onto it. Yeah, it turned out pretty cool.
You know what? I think so too, Lasse. What do you, gentle viewers at home, think? Pretty cool, huh? Now just wait until you see this sister stand in rank amongst her fellow warrior nuns. Wow. Follow along with all of our Arena of Escalation hobby progress, or join in from home using hashtag Arena of Escalation when you search on your favorite social media engines. To learn more about the amazing products used in this tutorial, from our Warpaints Fanatic range, as well as our industry-leading speed paints, Warpaints Air color primers, and our full range of high-quality paints and accessories designed to make miniature painting simple, fast, and fun, learn more at your friendly local game store, preferred online retailer, or at www.thearmypainter.com.